Welcome to this new episode of The Disabled Life. The purpose of this podcast is to tell people how I live my life. The name I'm using on the podcast now is The Disabled Guy, because I felt that you needed to hear something as opposed to just my voice there. I'm a disabled male living in Florida with cerebral palsy. I'm here to tell you how I live my life and some of the volunteer work that I do and how I managed to do it with cerebral palsy. Without further ado, let's go into the episode. First of all, excuse the fan if you hear a fan in the background. My apologies. I did not mean for that to be, but I'm sorry. I'm hot today and I decided to continue with that. This is an episode I didn't think I would do, but I'm doing this episode, and also excuse me if I cough. I am not feeling well today, but here I am. I'm going to talk to you about an experience I had with urgent care. Because here on the podcast, there is nobody to tell us what to say, what not to say. I have COVID for the second time. So, yesterday, Thursday, I'm recording this Friday evening. I normally don't record Friday evening. So, let me go back and tell a story. On last week's Sunday, my mom was feeling ill, and so she decided, okay, let me go get she called her clinic, so she decided, okay, let's go get a test. So she got a test, she got a positive, which is a confirmed positive. So, on Monday morning, the health department contacted her and asked her if there were more people living in the home. So I went and took a test at a local park with a company called NAMI or NOMI Health. I don't have it in front of me and I don't remember. But to make a long story short, that test was negative for me. It came out on my computer, was negative. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy. But here comes the problem. I was already coughing and stuff. I believe them. But come Tuesday night, I was sick. I felt terrible cold. Had a fever. I broke a fever with aspirin, and I was just congested, like terrible. And I said, "Oh no!" So I was in a hurry to figure this out. I didn't want to go back to the park, and I didn't want to because my doctor recommended to find a test location, and the only test location I knew of was this park, and I did not want to go back to this park because I didn't trust this test. So I talked to my mom about it. And I said, I'm gonna try to find urgent care. But my thing is, I have Medicare, so I wasn't unsure whether or not they took Medicare. So here's what I did. I did some research, found what I thought was a local number of the local urgent care called MD Now. So in the morning I get up. Remember, in the back of my mind, if this was not going to work, I was going to call my general practitioner. I don't call her my primary because I'm not an HMO, which helps because in this case it helped. So I call this place. I call this number, and it turns out it's a national number. So I called them and I asked them if they take Medicare. I'm going to make sure that they know what I'm talking about. So I said the blue and white card. And I told them that because some people confuse Medicare and Medicaid. He says yes. So I go, okay. So I tell them, yes, they're going to take it. Then I already know this because I already looked online the night before for the phone number, etc. that they do COVID-19 testing, and they have a doctor on site that can prescribe. So, don't get me wrong, I'm a little nervous in the morning because I'm going to a place that I'm not familiar with. So I walk in there and they register you like a normal. So they go in there and they register you like a normal person. So I fill out the forms and sign the proper forms, and I wait there for my doctor or somebody to come, not the doctor, right? Somebody to get me into a treatment room. So we go in there, and they ask me for my medical history. I give them all this. And then I tell this medical assistant that no, sorry. First, when I check in, they ask me if I want to see a doctor, which was kind of crazy because I'm walking into an urgent care. So I'm saying, why are they asking me this? So I answer yes. To them. So he says the reason for it's a COVID test. So I walk in. So then filling out the paperwork, I wait for the medical assistant to come in, come get me from the door. So she calls me in. I finally go in. This is a walk-in place. You don't have to make appointments. You walk in. So okay, this happened. So I finally walk in with her. We walk in. My dad and I walked in with me. We do this. Then what else do we do? So then she takes my blood pressure, my oxygen saturation. I'm sorry, that's a hard word to say. By using a pulse oximeter. This place is called MD Now. So so then I tell her that I have a confirmed exposure, which meaning I have a confirmed COVID exposure. So I'm like, okay. So then she says, let me go get the swab. So I'm like, okay. So sometimes some doctors talk around me. So it was funny because the first thing they asked me is who is the patient. I answer. What I mean by them talking around me is the fact that they'll talk to my parents about me in front of me, which is weird. So then they do a swab. The medical assistant says wait 15 minutes. So I wait 15 minutes. And I go, okay. The doctor comes in the door. She had already read that I had said that there was a confirmed exposure, which means that there was COVID. So she comes in the door and says, closes the door and says, you have COVID. I'm like, okay. I kind of figured out because my mom had exposure. So then I asked her what. So then she's giving me, she prescribed some medication that was from Pfizer. I don't remember the name of it right now. That was from Pfizer. I was feeling like crap. Like garbage. For the first 2 days. Today I'm feeling normal. But what I'm gonna say is, I love this experience because this experience was very nice because they talked to me like I was an adult, which they should, because I'm the patient. They didn't talk around me. The people were very nice, even though I was feeling like garbage. And there's something that I appreciate. This experience was great. I am in the next few weeks. Okay, let me explain another thing. The protocol has changed, at least in Florida. I don't know the rest of the states. It's changed. It's 5 days. You take meds for 5 days. But here's the weird thing. I have to take 6 pills a day, not including aspirin, and not including cough gels that I'm also taking. Um, so the way that works is this medicine from Pfizer works this way. You take 6 pills in the AM, or 6 pills in the AM and 6 pills in the PM. But I do it a little backwards. Okay, I'll tell you why I did it backwards. So what happened was when I finished there, it was when I got home after. Okay, when I finished there, I walked out with a prescription for this medicine. So I asked the doctor if she could give me the prescription. She printed such prescription out because I wanted it quickly. So she came in and gave me the prescription. My dad and I went over and drove over to Walmart. I picked up such cough gels. I picked up a cough drop, which I'm gonna eat after I'm gonna suck on after I finish this podcast because my throat wants it. So we do this. So I get home. It is 1 p.m. I'm like, oh. So what I did is I like to take medicine as soon as possible because I want to feel better. I want it to start to work. So what I did is I ate something really quick and I took my medicine. I took my 3 pills. Okay, so the night medicine I actually take at 1 a.m. in the morning because it's every 12 hours. So but the experience with the urgent care was very nice because they were really helpful. They were quick. Let me tell you, they were quick. I think it was because I went there when there was no one in there. But no matter what, that was great. I got my medicine quick. They gave me the test in 15 minutes. I walked out of there with a prescription, which I love, because I didn't want to go back to this place. So, and they were all very, very nice. This is one episode that I never thought I would have to do. Oh man, I'll tell you a story. When I did it through my doctor, no fault of their own, the first time, they gave him a stat order for the lab. But the lab person came over to my house. But you know what the problem was? It took him a week to get the results. I was like, so I'm sitting here at home for a week with symptoms and craziness. I'm like, this is bad. And I'm like, that's one of the reasons I decided, okay, I'm gonna try urgent care, and it works better for that stuff because if you're sick acutely, I recommend urgent care if your insurance can cover it because it's something that I found works. It's something interesting that I had it close to me, and I never ever went there before. But man, I said this is the time to try this, and I'll tell you, I love it because it was done. There was no appointment necessary. I walked right in. They did their thing, and I got out of there. Right now, I'm telling you, I'm feeling normal. I'm just a little bit of my ears pop, and I'm having some body aches. Yes, that's part of the COVID. But if I had to, which I can't, which I shouldn't do, because the recommendation is 5 days, and then 5 days you put on a mask and you can go out if you want. But no, I won't do that because, man, I don't want to expose people. I don't want to expose any people. I want people to be healthy. I had to go somewhere tomorrow, which is Saturday, and I had to call the person and say I can't make it. And I had to go somewhere Monday too, and I had to call that person and say I can't make it because I don't feel right going somewhere sick with COVID. Because even though it's not a quarantine, but I don't want people getting sick on me. That'll be bad on my conscience if somebody dies while I'm doing my thing. That's not right. So that's why I'm doing what I have to do. I'm going to give you my email right here so you can communicate with me about this or any other episode you want. My email is as follows. all letters, no words. KE4 KEY at gmail.com. KE4 KEY at gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at the Disabled Guy. And what else can you do? And please rate and subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts. Everywhere, Apple Podcasts, most podcast platforms. Please rate and tell me, because that really helps. If you leave me a rating and a comment, that really helps. And feel free to contact me at my email if you wish. With that, thank you for listening. And I'll be back next week. Sorry, be back on Wednesday. I'm not used to saying that yet.